Hey everyone, welcome back to the HighNote channel. Are you one of the many real estate agents wondering how to take your business to the next level? Namely from rookie to top producer to team leader, then to a brokerage owner and finally selling your brokerage? Whatever stage you're at, this is the place for you as we regularly deliver great tips and content on how to get you to the next stage of your career, whatever stage that is. We provide this information for free. And I'm just walking you guys through my personal journey as a rookie agent to the number 2 condo agent in San Francisco, to a team leader and eventually owner of Climb Real Estate, which we led to an acquisition by Realogy. Today, I'm founder and CEO of HighNote, the latest and greatest sales platform for the real estate industry. All I ask in return is that if you get anything out of this, do me a favor, you hit that like button. And if you want to keep getting tips and regular content, hit the subscribe button as well. It's very helpful for our channel. Drop a comment below and let me know what other questions we can answer for you. We always appreciate the feedback. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, and we hope you get a lot out of this.
All right, so we do this typically every 2 weeks. We took a week off just because of scheduling conflicts, but today I am super excited to have Patrick Ferry on our mastermind. I have done his, and today I'm really excited about the topic because Patrick has opened my eyes to the world of YouTube. And I've been a YouTube user for a long time, but as far as generating business, creating content, and then utilizing it through the eyes of real estate, where it always is yielding for you, has been absolutely amazing. So Patrick, welcome to the HighNote Mastermind. We have these on Facebook, and then we wind up putting it on YouTube and all over the place. We send it out to our people, put it into on our resources page as well.
Yep.
So
great.
Welcome. Thanks
Thanks.
you for joining me.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. All right.
So
do you want to direct it, or do you want me to just? I've got like a bunch of things that I can share, but I would love it also if you had specific questions, and also any in the chat. If there's any additional questions, let's get those on the table as well.
Yeah, so anybody that has any comments, feel free to drop them in here on the Facebook group. We do have people moderating.
Cool.
Before we get going, why don't you give the quick 60 seconds about you, because you are an agent, you are out there doing these things, right? For those people who don't know you, right, which hopefully there aren't very many of them, but
Yeah, that's okay.
Let them know, and then we can get going from there.
Yeah, sounds good. So I think specifically for this topic, I think my journey is actually really interesting in relationship to the topic, because I started with my dad's company 20 years ago, where I taught, I learned real estate sales, how to get listings, and then what does it take to scale up a big listing business. And so I did that for, 12 years. And then I jumped ship once I started to learn more about technology, online marketing. And that was around 2012. And I jumped and I left my dad's company and I moved to my brother's company, which is where I reside today as a coach at Tom Ferry. And in the Tom Ferry world, it's really all about, there's all this digital marketing, kind of modern marketing. What does that look like, feel like, and how do we produce results with that? And that is what I was super interested in, figuring out what to do in the world of online so that we could scale up all of our businesses. And so that's what the journey that I've been on as a coach. And then I got into real estate in San Diego with my wife, of course, as a Ferry. That's what you do, is you marry a real estate agent, right? So then I started selling houses. And in that process, I did the traditional stuff that I've been trained to do. I made the calls to the FSBOs. I converted expireds. Then I built geographic farms with my wife and father-in-law that were hugely successful. I mastered the open house process as a basic agent. But I was always like, well, what do we do online to be able to create sales? And there was only Zillow and the realtor. There was the expensive leads. And then there was like the low cost pay-per-click leads. And then there was the website and all of this stuff. And I was like, this stuff is I didn't love the expensive stuff, even though it worked reasonably well, right? And today it's, you can, at a Zillow lead, if you convert less than 5%, you're screwing it up. You really should be focused on a 10% conversion of a Zillow lead. Realtor.com is averaging in that 5 to 7%. If you're below that, that's really, you need to up your game. But then at the pay-per-click level, it's really like, if you're really good, it's 2.5. It could get up to 4% over 2 years. And then at, Facebook advertising for a real estate agent is basically a waste of time. And so, unless you have a very strong conversion strategy, just don't waste your money. So that's a terrible set of options for us as real estate agents. This is so weird. Why is this the case? That we don't have our own digital online lead generation platform that creates a high conversion rate. And so through that process of spending a lot of money, hiring the team, wasting a lot of time, I end up scrapping all of that. And then I was starting to look at what's called SEO. Because I was like, well, if I'm going to, spend the next 5 years, 10 years in real estate, I might as well figure out how to generate free online leads. Why not? And so SEO was the next obsession. Then someone told me to look into YouTube SEO. And I was like, what? YouTube SEO? What the heck is that? Right? YouTube SEO. And that drove me down the rabbit hole to where we are today. And so after figuring out what YouTube SEO, which I'll cover a little bit today, right now we have people, right, that have generated, I had a person on my mastermind group, Randy, who you met at the Success Summit. Her name is Jordan, and she's down in Houston, Texas, and she has created 1.8 million in gross commissions from YouTube leads. And really it was the YouTube SEO strategy, which I'll explain in a second. I was talking to my buddy Ken Posick in Florida, and he's generating 200 leads a month right now from YouTube SEO. Then I was talking to Jeremy McKnight over in Austin, Texas. And, last year his team did $100 million in gross commissions from YouTube SEO. So what the heck is this stuff, right? And so, as I've been really trying to figure this out, it dawned on me that it's one very simple concept that every single agent, we should create this content on the platform called YouTube. And it's very simple. It is the ultimate, and my great client Sunshine Cherry knows this, it's the ultimate relocation guide. Now, can Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, these companies create good relocation guides to your marketplace? So we've got Rachel from Gainesville, Florida. Can they really create a really rock star relocation guide? The answer is no. They could provide the homes for sale. And so what I've realized is the real estate industry has completely missed the boat, and we have not created high quality educational content around the relocation guide. And so, well, where does that guide live? It lives best on YouTube in the form of a video. And that right there, my friends, is making huge amounts of money right now. So free leads and here's what I love about these leads, because at the event, people were tracking the percentage of conversion rate, and really the one that we presented, her name's Shannon Gillette, who's in Arizona. She is converting 20% of the leads that came through the YouTube channel. 20%. That's unbelievable, right? We pay, right now, if you're on Zillow Flex, you're paying 35% to Zillow for a lead that converts at maybe 10%. If you are with Dave Ramsey, you're paying 35% for a lead that maybe converts at 10%. So for us to get a 20% conversion rate from a free channel where leads are discovering you, they learn about you and your market, and then they reach out to you. That is unbelievable, right? So I believe that, and I've said this to Randy, and I've said this to multiple of my clients, that, in this decade of, 2020 through 2030, the YouTube SEO strategy is the greatest financial opportunity that exists in real estate, period. And so we've all wasted a lot of time on Facebook and Instagram, and, we'll waste a lot of time on TikTok. And those have produced incredibly low amounts of results in terms of clients, right? It's been maybe good for your brand if you did it well, but I want to commit time that produces measurable clients and results. And I want to follow a formula that is designed to get me income. I don't want to waste a lot of my time trying to, do something that doesn't produce an income. So anyways, so this is the good news.
Let me pause you for a second.
Yeah, and then we'll go into some more details later, but yeah, Randy, go ahead.
So I believe, you have to have this three-legged stool or four pillars, right, to your business, right? Your sphere of influence is one. And I know that a lot of people refer to Instagram and Facebook as their modern day CRM, right? And I've been working in the CRM space for a long time.
Agreed.
And I do think that Instagram and Facebook, if you're utilizing it for that reason, this makes sense, right?
Correct.
So it's just like, everybody likes the thumbs up, everybody loves the new pool, the kids are back to school, right? So that's one, right? Really honing in on those referrals, right? The repeat business, right?
Yeah,
That's
but
another one.
So let's talk about that for a hot second, because what is effective? This is the problem that I see in the social media space, is what is effective there? How do you, and the key question is how do you increase your referability? How do you increase your respect as a real estate professional to your community? And then how do you do that on the platforms called Facebook, so Instagram, and so without the right context of content marketing and education, right? How do you level up? Like, do your friends go, oh my gosh, you need to work with blank because of the quality of the content that you put on your social media? And we know, Randy, that most agents today are basically like, can I just hire someone to post stuff on social media and will that do the job of getting me clients? And the answer is absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, but I can be top of mind. Fine. Why would you spend a bunch of money to be top of mind?
Right.
If I'm going to spend money and I'm going to spend time, I want income. And so there's this fine line in here where, yes, you can increase your new business from your sphere who see you on social media if you do it well. Yes, you could probably increase your referability, right, on social media. But is it truly a lead generation system? Of the 70 coaching clients that I have across the United States, and I track how many sales came as a direct response from social media, meaning that people DM them, the percentage is like, it has been for 5 years. Now, is it good brand building? Yes, if you are playing a content education marketing game. And if you're not, then you're just, this is just, have fun, like enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So the other strategy, right, to have that three-legged stool or the four pillars, right, depending on which philosophy you believe in, is that discovery, right? Like, how do people just find you? And I want to challenge anybody that watches this video, type in the Google search bar, moving to insert your town's name, state, right? And I guarantee you're going to see your Zillows and your Trulias and, the people that are spending lots of money for those leads. But then immediately below that, about halfway down, you're going to see videos. And this was one of the aha moments that Patrick sparked for me, right? Zillow's not going to create content, I can tell you that right now, or not anytime soon, right? All these big companies are not. And to rank there isn't as hard. And Patrick's going to dive into some strategies, but I did that in my town. And I see the same guy, one guy who's doing it in my town, and there's 5 videos. So all these people are paying tens of thousands of dollars to be at the top. He created a little video. It's not that great. You don't have to be a professional photographer person. Like, it's darn near iPhone type of quality. It's ranking at the top. And this was like, holy crap. Like, anytime somebody goes and says, move to this town, right? That's what they're seeing. Now, as a human, I'm attracted to watching that video. I'm not going to click on a bunch of different websites, to be honest with you. I'm like a moth to light, right? Like, just play the video, right? It doesn't look like any work. And that's an easy way to indoctrinate me into his sales funnel. Now I start to get comfortable. Oh, he's got 3 more videos. Let me watch those. And this was the point that Patrick made to me about a year ago. And I was just like, you're 100% right. Right? It makes sense. So,
it's the ultimate relocation guide. So what makes up the ultimate relocation guide, right? It's right now, if you go into everybody's city and you type in, for Gainesville, for Rachel, we type in, Gainesville, Florida, and YouTube, you're going to see the pros and cons of living in Gainesville, Florida. Now we can update that title with what's it like living in Gainesville, Florida, and then cover the pros and cons. And if I was moving from California, if I was moving from, Michigan down to, and I was interested in Gainesville, Florida, I would love to watch some content on what's the pros and cons. What's it like living there? That would be super helpful for me. What else would be helpful in the relocation guide? The cost of living, right? Because in California, I pay 1% property tax, but what's it in Florida? What's it there, right? In California, I have different insurance policies. It's very different in Gainesville, Florida. And in California, I have, stupidity in terms of energy costs, which are outrageous. Well, what are they in Florida? Relationship there. If I am relocating to Gainesville, I'd love to understand my basic costs so I can calculate that into my purchasing decision. That's super helpful, right? And for most agents, you actually don't even know what these things are. So it would be good for you guys to go learn them and then present them, right, for yourself. Then what else? Well, I'd want to know kind of where to live in Gainesville, Florida, right? So we've got the coast, we've got the expensive markets, we've got different subdivisions, we've got the golf course community. So how do you explain the where to live in Gainesville, Florida? Is there the top 5 neighborhoods or communities? Is there 3 of the best golf course communities, gated communities? How do you guys break these things down so I can figure out from a video what this is all about? So when you really start to break down the relocation guide, this is just great content that you guys should be creating anyways and delivering to people that are moving to your community. Now, for my friends who are in more expensive, kind of high-end niche communities like mine, calm down. Yes, you're not gonna get, like Rachel could be generating and Sherry should be generating, 20 to 30 leads a month from their YouTube channel if they do this well. But for people like myself in Solana Beach, San Diego, I could generate, if I did like Solana Beach and Del Mar, if I generated like 2 or 3 leads a month, that is a huge win at my average sales price of $3 million.
Right.
So guys, let's keep this in context, right? So, we need
now, $3 million $3 million gets you a chicken coop or a nice house. What do you get out there,
Right. So guys, this is what you just we all should create a relocation guide, period, as a professional, just part of what we do. Then now let's move to other ways to make money on YouTube. So the second thing that we need to do, right, which is we all should be reporting on the housing market today. Okay, period, end of story. The housing market's the most interesting storyline that exists on the planet. And it is volatile and it is interesting. And every single person in your database, your past clients, your sphere, your friends, they're all curious with the one question. With all the chaos going on in the world, what's happening to prices in our local neighborhood? Answer that question, do it on YouTube, and then take the link, email it to your database. Now, are you guys going to get a lot of new business from that? No. Is it going to get a lot of views? Probably not. But is that good for your brand? Yes. Does that increase your referability? Yes. Does that increase your respect to your community that you did it on YouTube and you emailed it and you did a good job? Yes. That's what we want there. Okay. So what's the next thing we can do on YouTube in terms of content? Well, I highly recommend you guys do more Zoom interviews. So if you come to my channel, which I recommend all of you guys to do, come to my channel, right? Patrick Ferry or Coach Patrick Ferry, whatever it is, just look me up on YouTube, right? I interviewed Randy. Randy, tell me about HighNote. I've interviewed Mark. Mark, tell me about HighNote. I just interviewed an economist. Tell me what agents should and should not be saying when they're talking about the housing market. I interview all kinds of amazing people, and you guys should be interviewing all kinds of amazing professionals that you recommend for your business as well. So, Rachel, do you think it's a good idea that you interview someone on insurance and homeowners insurance? Because it's very different in Florida than it is in California, than it is in Michigan, right? Now, in terms of weatherproofing windows, I was talking to my clients in Miami. Well, who's the best resource for that? For me in San Diego, I really need to talk to someone about solar and figure out what to do with solar and what are the rebates and what are we doing and how's the cost working and how's this all working. I don't want to be responsible for reporting on that, but I want to be responsible for finding great people that can educate my community, take the link, email it to my database, and do longer form education. That's a no-brainer. Okay, next, number 4 piece of content, because we're doing the relocation guide, we're doing the housing market, you're doing interviews. We really need to up our game with our expert advice, right? So Sherry, expert advice, right? So guys, the market changed. Is your advice to buyers today the same as it was last year? How to write an offer, is it the same way last year as it is right now? What type of negotiation you are going to do with the listing agent representing the buyer, is it the same this year as it was last year? Well, what's your advice? For your sellers, is your advice the same this year on how to price your home as it was last year? Is the expectations of what to do to prepare your home the same advice this year as it was last year? Do you have any advice on what to do to prepare your sellers for getting their home prepared to sell the home? Do you have any advice for buyers on how to prepare themselves and the top 5 steps to get ready to sell their home? Now, what the advice set, what's cool about providing this advice is you're never going to get a lot of views on this stuff. It's never going to be like Instagram where like, I did like the dumbest video where I was drinking wine and I said, the real estate market's crazy. And I got 20,000 views. Congratulations. I'm sorry. But your video that you said, here's the 5 steps to prepare your home before you put it on the market. And you spent 10 minutes and you actually did a good job of explaining really good expert advice and kind of why you offer that advice and helped people prepare. Yeah, you might get 100 views. Okay, but could you take that video and send it to the next seller you're about to talk to and meet with, and then they actually watched your advice on the 5 things that they should prepare? And this is where HighNote really kicks in, Randy, of course, right? Is every single person here, their relocation guide should be dialed into a HighNote. Their how to prepare your home for sale, your pre-listing package should have your YouTube video of your housing market. Your video of the 5 things to do to prepare your home for sale should be in your HighNote and sent in advance of the appointment. Now, what's the value of this to us? Saves us time. I want to save all my clients a lot more time by doing the expert advice on YouTube, and it lives there forever until you need to update it. And then you can send it off to all your clients. So if I met someone today and they're like, Patrick, I'm considering selling my home and I'm like trying to book an appointment right now. And they're like, yeah, let's meet maybe next month. I'd be like, great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you over my latest housing market video. I'm going to send over a video of the 5 things that I recommend to prepare your home for sale. And I can just send that over to them. And then they can start getting a sense of who I am as a professional. That's super valuable, right? So expert advice needs to be structured on your YouTube channel, and then we can use it in 1,000 ways for the next 5 years, and you'll get huge value out of that.
Yeah. So somebody said something. Somebody said something to me when I first started doing videos, right? And this is taking me back to the Commander Day, right? And I was disappointed because, you know, like there was like 60 people watched it, and then like 700 people watched it, and I was kind of down on myself. You know, I was new to video. I didn't do a whole lot of it, and I was just like, man, that sucks. And then my partner, you know what he said to me? He goes, that's 700 times that you didn't have to talk to somebody. Like they went through the presentation right? Think about how many times it would take you to do 700 presentations. And I was like, I guess I didn't think of it, right? It's all about perspective. And then I was like, you're right. And like that housing guide, if Rachel creates this housing guide and let's just say 60 people watched it, that's 60 pitches that she's basically doing face to face with somebody, not via text, not via newsletter, not via email. They're connecting with you. And there's something to be said when we're all on video versus black screens, right? We see each other's faces. You connect at another level. And that was the point where I was just like, good point. So how you're doing this, I think, is absolutely brilliant. And it's not super complicated.
And let's refine one more distinction, the difference between social media and YouTube, which is what I refer to as evergreen. And here is an example. So I'm going to screen share my YouTube channel, you guys. So this is my analytics. So in the last 28 days, right, I got basically 4,000 views. Then down here, it says your top content in this period of the last 28 days. This is what's so awesome is this video right here, the best text message marketing templates for realtors. I did this video in November 3rd of 2020. Wait a minute. I did a video 2 years ago and it got 300 new views in the last 28 days. What? This open house video I did in May of 2021 got 244 new views in the last 28 days. That's unbelievable. One of my highest performing videos, May of 2020, 200 new views. So you guys, it's leverage. This stuff, these are like soldiers. They just keep working on your behalf. If you did a good job, it'll keep accumulating views for 5-10 years. And they're still working. Now your last, Instagram reel, how long did it last? 30 seconds. Yeah. It was dead the next day.
Yeah. What's cool is how realistic that is, right? Like you're coming in and saying, listen, I don't have 300,000 views because like that gets overwhelming. They're like, God, how do I do that? Like you're showing 100 views, 200 views. Like we're not talking about tens of thousands. We're talking about 10. We're talking about 50. We're talking about 100 or 200 or 300.
Well, let's do the difference between social media and YouTube. So on this video right here, most successful open house strategies for both listing it for new agents, they're watching 9 minutes of my 30-minute video. This one, they're watching 7 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 7 minutes. So guys, when Facebook and Instagram reports a view on your, statement thing that you did on your reel, what's the reporting of the view? It's like 3 seconds. These people are watching 9 minutes. So when people are on YouTube, they're there to learn things. Other than our kids are all there, being entertained. But for most of us adults, we're usually there to learn something. I don't go to Facebook and Instagram and TikTok to learn something, right? Like I'm there to be entertained. I'm at the dentist office. I'm like, in line at the thing or whatever. So it's like, I'm not there to learn. So there's a big difference between the intent when they're there to like figure out the pros and cons of living in Gainesville. They're gonna watch. They're gonna watch as much of the video as you did a good job of teaching me what's important. And so your views, even though they're smaller, they're so much more significant. Okay, let's go to the last two things on types of content that you can make money with that would be valuable to you. Okay, so the lending world, we all need to be, most real estate agents need to learn more about the lending world. And so why don't we just interview via Zoom different types of lenders who have different types of products so that you can learn and then they can teach and then you can provide that as great content out there to your community. And again, take the YouTube video link and email it to your database. And we are in a turbulence of interest rates that's going to be going probably for the next 2 years. So every agent should up your game with what you need to know, but just interview great people. I didn't need to know of everything about HighNote. I just called up Mark and said, Mark, would you please come on and do a little Zoom interview with me and teach me everything you know? I called up Randy and said, Randy, tell me all the great, cool stuff about HighNote. And I just shared that all with my community, just like you guys should be doing the same thing with the lender. Okay. The last thing, number 6, if you really want to level up your brand, you want to increase your referrals, you want to sell way more homes, then I highly recommend that you do some content about how to invest in real estate on your channel, right? So Sherry is on here and she's like, well, I flipped my second home and I've got my third investment property. And I'm like, cool. How many of your past clients have you already helped? Well, I haven't helped any. Why? Well, I haven't really talked to them about it. Right. So what if you shot a video about, the 6 things that we learned from flipping the last house, and we sent that off to our database, and your database like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And then it's like, hey, here's how, I just did a training course on cap rates in our market of Gainesville. And I just learned here's how to evaluate what is a good cap rate for our market. And you did a little educational video and you sent that off to your database. Wow. You mean if your friends, your past clients, if they saw you more as a real estate investor versus just a realtor, do you think that you would garner more respect? What's the answer? Yes. Now, so for my Gainesville and my Cape Coral, Florida people that I can see right now, they should be doing tons of this content about real estate investing because the entire world is looking to Florida for real estate investments. But where do we go to find information about what to invest in Cape Coral? Where do I find information about where the best investments are in Gainesville, Florida? Because the entire world is interested in that topic right now. Are you too someone that they should be able to communicate with? Do you know anything about real estate investing? And so, my goal for all of my coaching clients, Randy, was this. I simply wanted how do I construct a portfolio of educational content that is discoverable, as we discussed, mostly evergreen, that your future clients thank you for it, and it generates you huge amounts of referrals and repeat business and new business. I want to build a portfolio of educational content, right? If you're just a realtor and you just sell homes, good for you. But if you wanted to really build something that actually helped you generate huge amounts of income, and you want to position yourself as a real estate advisor, well, this is your path, right? This is about establishing yourself as a real estate advisor. Now, the most important thing for my new agents out there, they're like, but I don't know anything. Don't worry. What's great was when I was a new agent in San Diego, I didn't know anything either. I didn't know anything about San Diego. So this is like the exercise to go learn stuff, then just go present it. And now your confidence goes up. So if you are a new agent in San Diego, should you go learn about the pros and cons of moving to San Diego and what to know about moving to San Diego? Should you learn about the cost of living in San Diego? Should you learn about the best neighborhoods in San Diego and the where to live in San Diego? Isn't that good education for me? And then just turn around and present it to the world. Now your level of confidence and expertise goes through the roof. But I don't know anything about investing. Good, go take the course. Then when you go take the course, now it has value because then you can translate it into some educational content and everybody now sees you as an expert. And so how do you be seen as an expert? You earn it. And there's only one way to do that. And so this is our opportunity to leverage all of that education that we've done in a way that creates huge amounts of income. Okay. So that's what to do on this wonderful platform called YouTube. Not sure if you guys ever heard about it, but I think a lot of people go there.
I think a little company called Google owns YouTube.
Correct.
The other thing that I think is absolutely brilliant, and anybody that watches this, tell me that I'm wrong. And Patrick, you pointed it out to me 37 times. When you watch a video, have you ever noticed that all of a sudden the other videos from that content creator start showing up in your newsfeed? That's free retargeting. We pay Facebook and Instagram and all these other companies lots and lots of money for them to do that, right? We pay them to retarget. YouTube does it for free.
Correct.
So I subscribe, like I listen to podcasts at night and I just turn my phone off and it's a video half the time. And then I'm like, okay, I'm dozing off. So I'm gonna, see if, I don't know why I know that's not good for my sleep, but it is what it is. But I've subscribed to tons of channels just because of that. Like I saw one good video. I found a guy last night, subscribed, and now he's showing up in my every time I go to YouTube. Boom, boom, boom. That's free. YouTube is doing this for you for free. So if you get that one set of eyeballs to watch your relocation guide video, more than likely they're going to watch another one, and more than likely they're going to watch another one, right? So that is just like the hidden gem, I think, of YouTube. It's just like natural retargeting. They want to continue to show you more of that information.
This is why, Randy, emailing to your database your YouTube videos is so valuable.
Put it in a HighNote, send your database a text message. Text message has a 97% open rate, right?
Correct. Yes. Texting my links all the time. I'm constantly texting Randy different YouTube videos that I'm watching. I texted him one this morning. I was like, hey, check this video out. And I texted over to him. I harass all my coaching clients with different YouTube video links via text. Hey, check this out. You'll like this. And so guys, between text and between email, you can actually promote your video content, and then all of the retargeting happens from there. Now, let's just be honest. We know that right now there between, Sherry and Rachel, there are a couple 100,000 people who typed into Google homes for sale in Cape Coral, Gainesville, Florida. So Google knows that these guys have been looking at Redfin and Realtor.com for Gainesville and Florida, and then all the little niche cities in there. So do you think Google's paying attention to that? Then Google owns YouTube. Now, Rachel has a video called What's It Like Living in Gainesville, Florida? So when these hundreds of thousands of people are over here searching and looking at homes for sale, when they pop onto YouTube the next time, you don't think that they're going to go, well, maybe they will like Rachel's video. See, they'll conspire on your behalf if you create the content that's relevant to the Google searches. And that's the most brilliant thing that has been discovered about YouTube, these relocation guides, for the highest conversion rate of an internet lead that exists in the industry. Proven as of 2022. Everybody, it's time to get in the game, right?
Yep. Now, there's some things that everybody should be. So there's some free tools out there that I recommend, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a free tool called vidIQ. This isn't sponsored by them. Patrick, I think, uses a different product, right? But you can
TubeBuddy, vidIQ, they're the two ones in the industry.
What is the other one?
TubeBuddy.
TubeBuddy, right? And I thought that this was a really cool tool because it shows like the competition, it shows other people in the area, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong.
Correct.
I think the other thing to keep in mind are your titles and your thumbnails, right? So thumbnails don't need to be professional. Quite frankly, it should be like what's going on with the market, right? And the rain's falling and, you know, like the president and whatever's behind you, whatever, right? Like those thumbnails do draw attention to it. And after watching Mr. Beast talk about what he does, it was very, very obvious why those thumbnails are so important.
Correct.
And then last but not least is a call to action. I see a lot of people that do not do this. You create this video, you're getting these views, and then what?
Yeah.
And then what? Every video you can drop a link below, right? So Patrick and I were talking about this in Dallas a couple weeks ago. Like, put your HighNote link there. Mm-hmm. So your little video about me, right? The areas that you focus on, and then we have a lead capture, right? Where they can enter in their first name, email, phone, or you can put in your Calendly link, book an appointment. Mm-hmm. Give people another place to go. If I want more of Rachel, I'm going to poke around, watch some of the videos, but then I'm like, dude, she's investing down there. She knows everything about all these different high rises that you can and cannot have Airbnbs in. Like, that's a topic right now. The 37 things that everybody needs to know about investing in Gainesville or doing an Airbnb in Gainesville. You will outrank everybody, mm-hmm. right? So right. Those are some things that Patrick has taught me and I've learned on my own, but those are some things I definitely want to keep in mind.
I think just to nail that point home, because Randy is a technology guy. I've learned to embrace technology. But what I think all of us need to do is whenever you go to a new platform, I don't care if it was TikTok or if it was Instagram Reels, and then it was Facebook, then Facebook groups, and then it's, Pinterest or it's YouTube. You have to kind of go learn a little bit about how they want you to deliver the content on their platform. Like, what are their rules and what are their best practices? And so I think too often I see people taking a social media mindset to YouTube and it bombs. But that's because they're not looking at YouTube first to go, how does YouTube work? What's YouTube all about? What are these people there to do? How do they present their content? How does the thumbnail get presented? How's the title structure? Where is there a call to action? How does this work? And so everybody, you just have to, if you embrace a new platform, even with HighNote, it's like, okay, you got to get into the resource. I got to learn how HighNote wants me to present my content. And they presented that, the big banner, and there's some data, there's a thumbnail, and there's some title, and there's some description. So I got to kind of learn how HighNote wants me to present my content onto this platform. And so that's just part of, for all of us, kind of in 2022, we have to be better at studying the platform first so that we can map what we want onto it. And then of course there's what your customer expects. So what a customer expects on YouTube is very different than what they would expect in an Instagram reel, which is very different than they would expect on Pinterest or on LinkedIn and or on, whatever. So being mindful of that. And then you can now go, okay, I know what the platform wants. I know what the customers expect. I know what I want. Now you can actually map your strategy effectively and you can win. Too often we kind of try things out. We do hardly any research. It totally bombs. And then you guys blame me or you blame Randy. You guys were jerks.
Yeah. So patience, patience is everything, I can't, unfortunately, it's very rare that I can cook dinner for my family, in under an hour, between prepping and getting everything together and getting the table set, very rarely, right? And everyone's like, oh, 10-minute meal. No, it's not a 10-minute meal. No matter what you do, minus cereal, right? It's going to be longer than that. So have some patience and invest in your future in your channel. And I have this question because, I heard it at the summit, and, everybody's talking about omni-channel presence, right? Meaning be on Instagram, be on TikTok, be on LinkedIn, be on. You guys only have we only have so many hours in a day, right? So do you think it's better to learn a system, be consistent on a system, right? Or on a platform, I should say. Be consistent, learn it, be consistent, get in the habit, right? Create that habit before you go out and you try to do TikTok. I still haven't downloaded it. I see some of the content that's being created and it's beep, beep, beep. They're doing this with music and these little pop-up. I'm not doing that right now. Right? I'm here with you, I'm here with the people, I'm here with all of our everybody in Florida's got to be Florida Nation. What do you think's better? Because I don't have that answer, but.
Well, the cool thing about long form is it can be repurposed for a lot of the short form. So there's a huge advantage of really mastering long form. It's hard to go from short form content and then to move to long form. It's actually super easy to go from long form and then to outsource short form, right? Because I can hire, and I get requests all the time now. It's I get guys who reach out to me and they're like, hey, I'll take all of your content and I'll create, 20 TikToks and 20 Reels, and you already have enough content. We'll just do it for you and we'll just do it for a flat fee. And so because I have enough long form, these guys will come in and they'll take all of my content and they'll create all of the short form and they can do all of the omnipresent stuff for me, all that I want, because I have enough content now that it's easy peasy. But to go the other way is actually very difficult. So I highly recommend that you guys consider that as you want to expand your presence. So much easier when you've been doing a lot more long form, right? I can also take all of my notes. So an example of, this presentation I kind of gave you guys today, which was this presentation, which is, how do you make money with content education, which I kind of covered a bunch of this stuff, what to do. And here's the content mix. I covered these guys for you guys. So there's the 6 buckets, blah, blah, blah. So I could take all of that and I can put it into a blog post. I can hand that off to a team. They can create thousands of Facebook and Instagram posts. They can take this video and create all kinds of Reels and TikToks. They could do this stuff for months and I wouldn't even have to lift a finger. Okay. Cool. All right, Randy, I got to jump.
Yeah.
I gotta get on to my next coaching session, and then
how do people connect with you?
They need to come to my YouTube channel as number one, and then all my cell phone is there, my email is there, my calendar is there. My world is on my YouTube channel, and that's where I want everybody to go and hang out with me and interact with me, right? So I answer all the questions that are in the comments. People text me all the time from there. So you guys, let's have some fun.
Patrick, thank you for joining us today. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody who is here. The replay will be on the Facebook page. We'll also have it on YouTube, and connect with Patrick. You want the show notes, you want that stuff, Coach Patrick Ferry on YouTube. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
See ya.
Want to keep getting tips? Hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching, and we hope you get a lot out of it.